Dan, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick.
Sure.
What's your favorite Frank Miller story?
Favorite Frank Miller story. It's you know, it's funny you say that, but I say it all the time. He did 2 annuals for Spider-Man. I love the 2 annuals for Spider-Man. I think they're just beautiful. His Doc Ock was amazing. His Doctor Strange was one of the best Doctor Strange since Steve Ditko, probably. Probably.
Thank you very much.
That's a compliment.
Probably. Yeah, but I love that stuff. I really enjoyed it. I mean, the Daredevil stuff I really liked. Don't get me wrong, Dark Knight's great and all that, but as a Spider-Man guy, to see that art on that character was pretty special.
Drawing Spider-Man for me was, I mean, he was my favorite superhero when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, after Superboy, but when I got over Superboy, as soon as I discovered Spider-Man, I got over Superboy.
Yeah.
You know, but and so much of that was Ditko's work and his portrait of New York, the noir sense he brought to the scary darkness of the city and everything that when I actually got the chance to draw Spider-Man, it was amazing how it fell out of my pencil because it was at first I thought, well, I've got to get a whole bunch of Ditko Spider-Mans, but I didn't. I mean, I couldn't afford to get them, and I just started drawing, and it was just there already.
Yeah. What is the story that you wish more people paid attention to that you've written?
That's one of the best damn questions I've ever been asked.
Wow, that's an interesting one.
The thing is, they paid attention to pretty much all. I'm blank on that. Sorry. I've been my audience has been very generous, and
very dedicated.
I've found that they've read everything I've done, and when I do these signings, I'm amazed how many books come up that are gee whiz, somebody has that, you know, that sort of thing.
I'm going to ask the question in the reverse. I'm going to ask the question in reverse. Which book do you think they gave overemphasis to that you just did for fun?
I've got about as coherent an answer to that as I did to his question.
Maybe we find a different question, Jane.
I mean, it's like do something just for fun. That's exactly the stuff that usually comes out the best.
Comes out the best. Absolutely right.
I mean, I did Sin City just for fun.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I felt it was more like I felt compelled to do it because I wanted to do it so bad. But it was, I do remember sitting down and saying, I'm going to have everything in this that I really want to draw. You know, it's going to have the hot girls, it's going to have vintage cars, it's going to have tough guys in trench coats. It's going to have the works, and it was just a party to do it.
That's awesome.
It still is. I love Sin City.
Can you give us the original, how the concept of Ronin came about? Because I mean, we see all the influences in Ronin, but where did it come from for you specifically? Ronin
came when I was working at Marvel Comics, and I had a really good, fun run at Marvel. But the editorial restrictions there had been increasing, the rules that everybody had to work by. And I was feeling just at that time the need for more and more freedom. I was working with Howard Chaykin and Walter Simonson in Upstart Studios. And we shared a big studio. And they were exposing me to all kinds of stuff from around the world. And all kinds of illustration stuff. With Howard, it was the illustration work for the ages, and with Walter, it was the European comic book artists. Then all of a sudden, I could go buy it all at Forbidden Planet. So there I was, it really a height of popularity, and Jeanette Kahn was wooing me to work with DC Comics, and she said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Freedom." And so I was given, within reason, carte blanche to help put together the format and the storyline. Basically, I was given what was for the time an astonishing level of trust to go and either startle the world or make a complete flaming ass of myself. And I did a bit of both. After that long, wonderful run with Klaus, it it was time for me to take my own chances, and I again, I was doing nothing but taking chances. I decided I would try to ink the way that the artist of Lone Wolf and Cub did. Like I said, it was an exploration like crazy, and it did me nothing but good.
Why Ronin 2 now? Because you could have done it any other time.
Well, let me see, sort of the stars weren't in alignment, or I was adrift doing other things. But I've got to say, it's this guy, you know, he basically said, "How about doing it with this guy?"
Yeah.
And I, you know, the rights to Ronin were in a very complicated situation, and so Dan cut through a lot of the rubble, and you know, we got rolling.
I think the best part about Ronin too is you had a story. I mean, you want to go right down to it.
Ah, yeah.
That's you know, there is no Ronin 2 without the story. And Frank, when Frank told me, we were just talking about Ronin, and he said, "I've had a sequel to that since the moment I finished the first series."
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, because one of the big questions in Ronin 2 is, what does the title mean? You know, we used a Roman numeral 2 for a reason, because it's who is Ronin 2?
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
That's part of the story. Yeah.